Hi, how are you? All 63 of you. Oh, goodness. I just hope you can hear me fine. I'm Jim Caldwell. I'm a meteorologist, and I just I got bored. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, you know what? There's some storms up out toward north. Let's just jump on and talk about them for a few minutes. Talk about life, love, whatever. That's what we'll do. But we do have some potential for it to roll in overnight. Now, we had a lot of rain out there today. Some totals 4, 5, 6 inches around the area, and then there's flash flood warnings. The old phone here went wild on me today. May have gone wild on some of you too. Is ended up getting the big alert where it just goes crazy, and it shakes all over. So that happened today, which I was glad to see that it's working a little bit better because it had some issues for some people at times. So keep that in mind. But again, it's not a big deal. But I just want you to kind of know because I just, I was bored. I was sitting here. I was like, you know what? Let's talk about it. I am everywhere. I'm on every screen behind me. So, and there's a delay. Isn't that fun? All right, let's let's do it. Let me show you what we've got going on out there right now. And some storms. I know it's not showing any lightning right now. I don't have the lightning necessarily turned on, but there you can see it. You can see some of the lightning that's currently in play with all of this. They're in Indiana and uh, just south of Indianapolis. No active warnings with this right now. They're turned on. They're just not out there. I mean, you can see there's a whole bunch of others now. I haven't got the U.S. radar turned on. That's why you're not seeing everything everywhere all at the same time. But you got several out there. I mean, that's a big tornado watch that you see there. Look at that. That's out until 3 o'clock in the morning out there in South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, all kind of covered up. Iowa, Minnesota, and then severe thunderstorm watch. So I'll let me throw that up there so you can see what I'm talking about. We'll go national radar, and yeah, now you can see what I mean. See, there's some storms out there right now. Several warnings embedded. Sometimes it's easier to see them without the lightning on, but there you've got that's a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, that's out in Nebraska, but nonetheless, it's out there. All right, let's go back home. And as we do that, we can see here in Kentucky that it is dry right now, and I'll tell you, it was not dry earlier. So many big thunderstorms rolled through and so much rain. But what you've got up there is went to the wrong radar site. Let's go to that one. There we go. But what you got there is a pretty good round of storms. I mean, you got about 3,900 strikes here in the past little bit. So certainly an active situation, no doubt about that. But most of these have just been kind of wind heavy at times. There was some spin earlier too with a few of those thunderstorms that were across parts of Indiana, and again that was much earlier. I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to stay on here long because I've got to be at Tates Creek High School in the morning at like 7:30. So I've got to be there. So I'll be out in some of this. Tates Creek High School, of course, is in Lexington. For those of you that don't know. Okay, let me show you. We'll go into the future just a little bit. How about we do that? And I'll load up a couple of different things. This is what I'm calling What's Next. And What's Next is essentially telling you some of the high resolution data. Well, it's just showing at midnight, and it's 11 o'clock right now, and it really hasn't captured what's going on out there, or it's just weakening it too much. But look at this. We get into the overnight hours, and it's up to 1:30 there, and you start to see it try to develop. So you're in Frankfort, you're in Cynthiana, you're around those areas, and you've got some decent thunderstorm activity that's trying to blow up ever so slightly, and then into the early morning. See, this is why I want to come on, just kind of talk about this just a little bit, just to let you know that it's going to get louder in spots during the nighttime hours tonight. So that goes through Lexington, got Mount Sterling, Moorhead, all included in on that. Next, we'll go a little bit deeper, and notice it's weakening some. You're not seeing the purples, the reds, the oranges. Listen, there are a million people out there doing weather on YouTube and Facebook, and all they want you to hear is how smart they are. I don't care. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to say if it's red and it's orange and it's pink, eh, that's not a good thing. Okay, it's no need to confuse people. That's the difference between knowing how to do this and not knowing how to do this. Done it for 25 years. All right. And I don't even know why I got on that rant. I don't know. Sometimes I do things. But notice what happens here. So this one goes out a little bit farther too. We'll take it into Wednesday night, and everything starts to dry up there for a little while. Now I'll go through Thursday, it's dry, and then we'll get into Friday, and we do start firing up a little more activity. And I think this is underplaying it a little bit. All right. Next, what I want to show you is one of the other models that we have access to, which is one you're very familiar with. You hear us talk about it. I can't tell you what the in-house model is yet, but I will eventually. I'll tell you exactly what it's called. This is the Herd. You've heard of it a lot through the years because we talk about it all the time throughout my career. So watch this. So this is 12:30. It's what time is it? It's 11:04 on June 9th. Watch this. So it's got a better idea of what's going on uh, compared to the current. But notice it's trying to line it out just a little bit differently. But what it's trying to do is it's trying to give us more trainings thunderstorms. Okay. And then notice it really is trying to set up with one right after the other. And what I mean by training is think about a train going over a track, and it goes over it and then over it and over it, the same spot again and again. Well, that's what this one's trying to do. And that's what a lot of us had out there today. And that's what caused some of those issues with the high water and whatnot. All right. So now we'll go even more. And this one really lets it die out by 3 o'clock. And we have a flood watch that's out too. And it runs through tomorrow midday, depending on where you are. Farther western portions of Kentucky, not as much. And the reason I'm focused on this area here in particular right now is because this is the area that probably sees a lot more of the action as we get into that overnight forecast. So just something to think about. It's going to get a little louder. We're going to have some soaking rains. And the problem is with those soaking rains is they could already cause more issues because we're so saturated all of a sudden. And I know you're thinking, well, just the other day we weren't. No, we are now. We're getting back into that. So that's kind of the general idea. And again, I don't want to scare anybody. I really miss doing this sometimes, and tonight we could sit and we could talk about it. And I'm sure there's there are comments. I see them over here. Let's go and see where they begin at. They begin at 10:59. All right. Well, and as I always do when I do these, I try to answer as many questions as possible. All right. Kayla R. Gross says, are we in storms in Johnson County? I think eventually tonight they will happen. And hopefully you saw the way that played out, right? And hopefully you got to see it. This is from Mindy Barnett. Now, where I'm from, Mindy, it's Barnett. Okay, we don't hit the net real hard. We just say Barnett, and everywhere else is Barnett. I know that now. When you grow up, you learn that. I miss you too. Mindy, I just can't. I appreciate you asking that. I appreciate that. I just can't. There's not a lot. There's a lot I can't say right now. Anthony says come back to TV. Well, you know what? Look at all the fun we have right here. Look at this. I mean, we're just hanging out talking. And you can't do that with that medium anymore. So that's it. That's it. That's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun in this capacity. Versailles, yes, Michael Vanderpool, you will see some. You will see some thunderstorms. And again, hopefully, I'm going back in time here, so I hope you all I hope you all saw the hour by hour, so you saw what was going. With that, I gotta change something. That looks too zoomy. There we go. I have rigged this up in such a strange way, you all, because I had to rig it up because I want to see comments, and I don't have some of the other stuff I need. So, all right. Hazard, yeah, eventually it's going to line up there. And I thought that was really interesting with that one model I showed you a minute ago, where it tries to line up and literally show you the training of thunderstorms. And that's where we run into a lot of problems. We get a lot of water like that. So that's something to be concerned about. Here's one of my friends, very good friend, Shane Smith, who also does weather on here and doesn't try to confuse you either. And friend and partner, That's what he is. But he's saying amen to, I think, people trying to razzle dazzle it too much. He's a good source too. Leslie from Maysville. I've been in Maysville more in the past 2 months than I have ever been in my life. I don't know why. It just kind of happened that way. But I've been there. Love that little town. So it was great. As a matter of fact, I went to visit the Mason County School Board, the central office. That's what I did. So I was right there. Well, I walked the streets downtown. This is before they had set it for the movie, though. So let me know what that's like. Lisa Spurlock. Pop up, Lisa. There we go. Hi, Lisa. Well, I miss you too. But you don't have to miss me. I still hang out. You can still send me a message or what. Whatever you need. All right, here's somebody asking another. What should we expect? Leanne Smith says, "What should we expect from London?" In London tonight, again, there might be just a few storms. A lot of this, with just looking at the data, is trying to stay a little more north of you, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to. Okay, that means it's going to be like that the whole time. But that's what we got. All right, let's jump down here to the next one. I'm going to try to get as many as I can, and then I'm going to eventually go to bed. Because like I said, I got to be at Tate's Creek in the morning. All right, this is from Berea. Hi, Wilma. Appreciate you watching from over there. Again, I'm just going to flip through some of these now because I'm going back to back. All right, that's a good question. Any winds with this? Yeah, it's going to be pretty gusty as they pass by. And that's mainly what it's going to be. It's not anything that I think is going to be super significant, but you're going to get some gustier winds and it's going to be loud. I mean, you can see all the lightning on the screen right now. Okay. All of that flashing that's coming in within the past few minutes, and those other strikes that have been on there for a while. So yeah, it's going to feel impressive for parts of the region, but not everybody. Not everybody's going to get that way. Remember that too. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit quicker here. And I know all my friends from London, you all are a little you're storm shy, and I get that because we're just a year and no, it's not even a year and a half, a year and a month, not even a month yet from the tornado. So I get that, but we're watching it. Oh, look at this. Shane, you're a smart cookie. Shane was my intern 100 years ago at WYMT. And then he eventually became chief meteorologist at WYMT. And he's an all around good guy. He was just at my house the other day, actually. I agree, it is, right? Because all of a sudden I can pull up this. And here's the sad thing about it. I can pull up bad comments too. So if somebody starts talking junk, we can pull it up too. And they do. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I did post a picture the other day. I posted a picture of me at Fox 56 in Lexington, and I was just being funny. I was sitting with my former teammate Andrea Walker, but I'm not going to work full time there or anything. We were saying goodbye to Marvin, and Marvin, who has been the news anchor there since they launched news. And I was just kidding around, but people were like, "Are you going back?" No. All right, bouncing around. Magoffin. Tasha, I don't know if you know this or not, but I have Magoffin is a very, very special place in my heart because that's where I'm from. Hopefully you know that. I don't know, but that's it. Oh, I see another one from Magoffin. There we go. And that's Athena. And hello to you too. I'll skip that. All right, I'm just looking. Late joining, she says. This is Erica from out of the East Bernstein, London area. Again, you see a lot of these comments if you're going through them. They're concerned a little bit. But as far as it just being a bad, severe night, I don't see that. What I do see is when these get going, they're going to be really heavy rain producers. They have been all day. And sometimes I don't even need to look at anything to know that. If I know that there's something that's going to cause a storm, all right? If I know that there's a trigger and I walk outside and I can feel the air on me, as humid as it was today, you just kind of know. And there were already watches out and everything to kind of take care of some of that. But when I walked out this morning, I was like, ugh. And I immediately thought it's if we get something going really well today, it's really going to pour. And then I'm with a bunch of teachers this week, and let's see, like 400 plus. And I got in before they did, most of them. And then here they come soaked. Of course, a lot of them had umbrellas too, so they paid attention to wherever they got that particular forecast information. But tonight for you there in London, East Bernstein, I again, I'm not going to go overboard with saying it's going to be absolutely super severe, but you might get some rumbles. You might get some. I mean, just look at what's going on up here right now. You've got all that stuff there in Ohio, Indiana, but none of it's severe. There are no active warnings, not in that line. So again, well, maybe on the northern side of it, we've got one. There you see that up in Sandusky, up there in Sandusky, Ohio. So yeah, I mean there's some, but right now I just don't think it's an overwhelming shot of it. We zapped the atmosphere a lot today, but that really didn't matter. I mean, it's really just going to be some heavier rain. I think we encounter out there, and the gusty winds. All right, Carlisle 4-H camp. Oh gosh. 4-H camp in Carlisle, Kentucky tonight. Well, I'll tell you what, Toby. Again, just be prepared for some gusty winds, good loud thunderstorm going through. That's what most of us are going to see, y'all. I mean, we're not going to get on here and just say wall to wall tornado all night. Could something happen isolated? Perhaps. Could something as far as a severe thunderstorm warning happen? Perhaps. And a more isolated variety. It's just not going to be a widespread night for it, where it's just one right after the other, nonstop warnings. The weather radio is going off constantly, and sirens are going off in every town nonstop. That's not what this is. But again, it could be some heavy rain that comes through here too. I'm going to flip on down through here. And again, I love all of you, but I just can't get to all of them. Well, thank you, Kevin Wilson. I appreciate that. This one is from Path Epperson. Right. And a lot of people did need rain. We did. I was gone a couple weeks ago. I was going on vacation, and it poured while I was gone. And then I got back and we went dry again. And this time of year, when you get so much warmth into the equation too, and you dry up more, it dries up faster. I mean, it's just simple stuff like that. So yeah, we need a little more rain to move into the area. This again, we don't need it all at one time. Hottie Renee, anything for Owensville, Bath County, and I think you're right in track for that too. You know what I'm going to do, because some of you weren't on here. I'm going to pop back over here, and I am going to show you the HRRR model. That's what I want to show you. So watch this. I'm going to show both of these little, what we call these high resolution models. This one you can get all over the place. You can find it on all the sites and look at it closely. All right, so what this is trying to do is trying to keep some of that going, but it didn't show it as strong as it is right now, which is probably a good possibility for a lot of it. But look at this. It's trying to line it up. And what I mean by line it up, you can see there that you've got those showers and thunderstorms that are lining up all the way back in Indiana, then back down into like parts of Kentucky. And they just keep doing that same thing over and over again. Now look at this. We'll go a little bit more in the future. See how it kind of lined up and just hit over and over again? Well, that's what could be, problematic for that. But like in this particular run, London, it barely even gets you wet at all. That's just one run. Now let me show you this other one. We'll go back to what I'm calling the in-house model, for lack of better terms right now. And you could see it's a little more aggressive with storms and storm development and the intensity of them, because you run into the pinks, the purples, and all that. And that's going to show you that it is a little more intense in the overnight. And then as it gets into Eastern Kentucky, because again, London, you're not in the thick of this. Most of it is, it's both of these, I trust quite a bit, and it's shifting it more in that Eastern fashion. and then it tries to blow some more up tomorrow. I mean, if we just clean the air up a little bit, see those little arrows there? See those arrows that are on the screen? That's showing you where the wind's coming from. And it's still from the south. So we're not getting anything that like a good front that could change everything up for us. Not at this point. But because those winds are still out of the south, y'all, still. And then 10 o'clock on Friday. And again, I mentioned this earlier. I think we could run into a few more. I think this is underplaying it right now. And you can see it gets a little more active into the afternoon. It's all about timing on when that plows in. Notice what's happening with the wind, the little wind markers there. You're getting more of a northerly wind on the backside because they're coming out of the north. And as they do that, it does kind of give a shot of a different brand of air briefly. So that does at least help, but it doesn't last long because you see another round that comes into play there. Just saying. All right. So where was I? Let's see what we've got here. Travis. Hopefully everybody that's watching and you just watched that just like that just a minute ago. And you saw the timing on everything and where. And you know what? The thing is, if you know, I can't show every single community. I mean, I can zoom in and get tighter on that radar and stuff and show you sometimes they'll pop up, but it's hard. It's hard because there's so many places pop up, and that's why for years I've had to when I was on television, there people are like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And the best thing to know is know how close you are to like the county seat. Know how close you are to, for example, Richmond. And know what side you're on. Am I east of Richmond? Am I west of Richmond? Am I south of Richmond? Am I closer to Berea? Things like that, because I can't hit every small community. Even in this capacity, I can't hit them all, in this kind, because we'd be talking about everything. And we just kind of talk about general. But what we saw there is a little push of some showers, thunderstorms that are moving out there for sure. Shane does so good too. Love watching him. You know what, Stephanie? He does do a great job. He is. He's a real smart guy. I tell you about Shane. He's smarter than I am. He is. He's smarter than I am, and I hate it. I hate it because he'll recall these things, and be like, "Oh, you look at that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right," and I'm playing catch up. So it's always good to have somebody like that on your team. When that happens. Oh, there's my old buddy Neil Middleton up tonight. Neil Middleton, my longtime boss. Many, many years ago. I left Neil in 2013. So, yeah, it's been a while. He's saying, Margaret, thank you. I don't know what he's saying thank you about, but he means it, Margaret. He means it. Look at this. There's my buddy Tiffany, also known as Twisted Chaos, Weather Chaser Extraordinaire. That's what it is. Haley, glad we can keep up with you here. I grew up watching you on WKYT and WYMT. You'd be surprised at how many times I hear that and how many times I've run into people and they've said that to me. They said, "Do you remember being in my class?" And honestly, I don't remember a lot of classes because I tallied it up one day. And this is a rough estimate. I at that time, this has been a couple of years ago. At that time, I'd seen like somewhere between 15 and 20,000 kids because I do a lot of large groups. So other people don't like to do large groups. I don't care. I'll do as many as I can. So you do 300-400 all of a sudden, it adds up. But it's somewhere between 15 and 20,000. So yeah, I run into those kids. Yeah, you came to my school in 2001. Really? Thanks. And now here you are making more money than me and being a much better guy, having a much better career than I've got or had for a long time. I love my job now. I'm not saying that. I love it. Love it. All right, let's go on down. But thank you, Haley. Haley, where are you from? I'm just curious. This thing now shows me when I've hit one of your comments. I love that. I love that. Sorry, just little things. You know what? I've got to talk to my Winchester people. My Winchester people help vote for me and, help me have a nice finish for the primary election here for city commission. It's a nonpartisan race. Is Winchester getting away? Yeah. We're going to ramp up a little bit here. So it's what it's 11:23. Says right there on the radar. I think between about 2 and 4 probably gets a little more active here. I didn't have a lot of time to make that. I did have time. I just didn't. I can make one of those graphics and slice it up. I've just been what I've been trying to do has been trying to get this on to where I could stream it the way I wanted to stream it. So it took me a little extra time tonight because I just I tinkered. But Abigail, if you live in the city of Winchester, November, don't forget Jim Caldwell. Uh Neil, there's no FCC regulation on that. I can say that. Say that here. All right, here we are. There's Twisted Chaos. Go give her a follow. She's a good girl. South Rowan County. All right, I think she's a good girl. She always sends me good stuff, so I'm sure she is. I'm just aggravating her. Let's see. Yeah, see, Shane's got it. Shane's got it figured out. I mean, it's soup. It really is soup. And when it feels like that, you get some trigger. I mean, it can just produce a lot of rain. That's why a lot of times when we get into the pop-up time of summer, when there's no real system around, we get the pop-up storms during the afternoon and evening. They usually start in Kentucky. I've noticed over the past several years, they usually start somewhere between 12:30 and like 4 o'clock. Those pop-ups, and the ones we always say, "Oh, we can't predict those." Well, it's hard. Um, but with those that are out there, they can produce really heavy rain because it's always so humid here in Kentucky during that time of year, and it just fills them up, and it just rushes back out with that. So Shane, of course, is right. Don't speak that into existence. Umbrella didn't matter. Oh, this is my friend Rachel. Rachel Boykin Patrick. She was at the thing I was at today, and she says umbrella didn't matter. I walked out to my car because I had my pink sparkly jacket on, and I had to take it to the car because I want to try to keep up with it all day. I wish I hadn't, but I did use somebody's umbrella because there were like 300 umbrellas just laying at the front door there at Thates Creek High School today. So they were in sessions. I wasn't stealing it from anybody. I brought it back, but yeah, I got soaked. My legs, my feet. I was so mad, but I didn't want to keep up with that. But it's so good to see you. It was so good to see you. All right, scrolling down here, and again, we're not going to hang around forever. We're not going to hang around forever because again, it's not one of those nights where it's going to take a lot of time. Sorry, I got quiet. I was trying to find something that trying to find something. Oh, so Adrian here says it was sad to see watch Marvin Lee Fox 56 tonight. He was he's one of the nicest guys ever. You'd never know he was mad at you because he would just the way he would conduct himself. It was always friendly. That's all I can say. He was just a super nice guy, and really, he really is the best. Shane, oh, you're so sweet, Shane. Gosh. I'm just doing this one because it's funny. Are you going to run for mayor next? That's what Bobby O'Shea says. I have no plans to run for anything else at this time. No, I have no plans to run for mayor. I don't. Let's keep flowing through here. Well, you know what, Neil? Yeah, okay. I'm going to put that out there so the world can see that you said that. Just saying. What's cheesy about it? What's cheesy about it, Leanne? Craze. You're still craze to me. This popcorn showers, as Alyssa McKenzie calls them. I don't know who Alyssa McKenzie is. Do I know who that is, Shane? I don't know who that. I don't know. Not right off the top of my head. I don't think I know who that is. Anyway, yes, popcorn pop up. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. All right, let's see what the fingers crossed for a quiet night in Astor. Well, I'll tell you what, Amanda, I can see the picture barely. I think Oh, I do know who this is. All right. Yes, yes. It's you're going to run into some thunderstorms that could get a little louder and that could be a little more active and get a little more act. I got a text message from somebody. Um, but again, we'll watch it and we'll figure it out together. Okay, we'll figure it out together. But right now, there's just not a lot going on with those. I just came on here because I was sad and bored and I wanted to talk to you all. Oh gosh, that's what it is. Watching from Alvin Floyd County. Thank you. Oh, thank you. What does this one say? Your shirt is, of course, it's amazing. This is one of those that drive me crazy. Somebody's already. I talked to somebody earlier, and they said the same thing. They said they want my shirt. It's one of those things. Oh my gosh, I've gotten bleach on it. Huh. Well, that stinks. I didn't even know it. Well, you can't see it, so it doesn't matter, right? Okay. Now I know who you're talking about. Now you're talking about. Yeah. Shane, you'll know her. You'll know her. We'll just go look her up after we get done here. Oh. Just you being nice on me. Let me tell you something, Leanne. I'm not even that nice. I'm not even that nice. Alyssa Chance. That's who he's talking about. Now that it didn't register for some reason, but yeah, she's on here. Well, look at there. There's George from Weather. George, let me see. How can I could just pull you right in if I wanted to. I have to send you something. I can pull Shane in too, for that matter. And we can all talk because, well, we're all friends. George is a good guy too, y'all, from Weathernell, Kentucky. Twisted Chaos says, I'm back. Hey, check the thing I said. Check the thing I sent you. Let's look and see what that is. I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding what you sent. I'll find it in a minute. Oh my gosh. Try it, Lisa. Let's do it. All right, let's pop on down through here. Pop on down here. Pop down through here. Yeah, Haley, I remember now. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Well, first of all, you didn't invite me to play. Second of all, maybe. No, it'll be soaked. It'll be if anybody plays, especially around here, because I know you're going to play. You'll play at the Bull. It'll be soaked. It'll be cart path only. And if you're old like me, that sucks. But you're not as old as me, so Courtney, you're all right. No, I don't see that happening, Oliver. No, not this kind of setup. Not with this. But again, a few storms that roll in, they could be loud. And then you can get some heavier rain. And look at the lightning. Here, I can actually draw on this thing right now. So I can't if I hit the right pencil. Just look at all that. Look at all that lightning right there. So these are going to be loud. They're going to be loud during the overnight hours. There's no doubt about that. So just keep that in mind. Remember that we could run into some of those. And then a lot of times, the kids run, the dogs run, and they all get scared because of the sound of thunder, because it can be so intimidating. So just be prepared for that. And again, I don't think it's going to even be that over the top. Look at all those strikes, though. up to 3,500, and that's just in this batch. See, what I can do with this cool thing now is I can go farther out and zoom, and we can see strikes, 10,000 strikes from here to Edmonton. I'd say they're south of Edmonton. I want to look now. I want to know. Yeah, they are. Edmonton has one of the largest malls in the world. Did you know that? I know that. I randomly was there. Back to this. I'm trying to figure out these controls on this mouse, y'all. So that's part of what I'm doing here tonight, too. I wanted to test some of this stuff on a night that was not like nuts, you know. That's what I was trying to do. Let's keep looking. Let's keep looking. Let's keep looking. You would rather be one for WKYT? One what? I don't know what you said. I probably didn't see that because I don't see all of them. They fly by. They fly by. All right, Shane, I see you. So yeah, you know, we did have an issue where the radars were down, and Shane, I've been so busy with other work, I didn't even try to look. I didn't even try to look, so I don't know. I just know they were down, and Shane but like I said, Shane always stays on top of that stuff, so he may know. He may very well know what's going on with it. Wolf County, yeah, I mean, same thing. I mean, think about how very. I'll go through the hour by hour again in a few minutes, but just think about how humid it is, miserable out there. Matthew Richardson. Matthew? Huh. This line is slower than my wife in Walmart. Did George say that somewhere? Again, I don't see everything, y'all. Oh, here comes. Oh, Shane went from Shane Smith to meteorologist Shane Smith. He went to the big account. Go give Shane a follow too, and give George a follow at Weather Now Kentucky. All right, I'll get Leon. I'll go and I'll run that model. I'll run two of them again because they're close in their timing on this. I know you're in Johnson County, so we'll look at that coming up here in just a few minutes. Okay, and Jennifer Harris as well. We'll time those out in just a few minutes. And Shane has helped answer the question. He says, I still haven't heard what caused that outage. We had like a cluster of radars out in western Kentucky in that vicinity that were out. George, maybe you've heard too. So whatever that is. George, let me see if I can. How can I do that with us sitting here like this? Copied. I'm sorry. I'm doing something else now. Link copied. George, text me your email address. Yeah, text me your email address and I'll send it. I know you can hear me and you've texted me. So we'll do that. And then Shane, I think I've got enough for 4 people in here. 3 people. Yeah, I've got one set up for 3. Yeah. So Shane, send me yours too because I can't remember what it is because we're in the middle of all this. All right. So send me that. Well, thank you very much, Haley. I appreciate that. Leanne lives in Magoffin County now. Okay. The reason the radars were out, it was a communication issue at Paducah. Was part of it. And you moved into the home place. Well, I just feel like we're having the best conversation ever. You know, I think that we could have had it somewhere. All right, I've got both those email addresses. You know what? Just for poops and giggles, see, I didn't say the bad word. For poops and giggles, we're going to add in a couple more people just because it's fun. And you can see some of these other two guys. Let's copy the link again. Let's go over to the other computer and let's try to email it to them. Is this going to go over my screen? It probably is. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that for a moment so y'all can't see what I'm doing over here. And then I'll do it. But yes, y'all, we are having ourselves a little good time tonight. See, the weather doesn't always have to be bad to just talk about it and have fun and discuss things. That's the thing. You can get on here and we can talk and we can smile and we can laugh and all that stuff at any time too. All right, here comes. There's Shane's email address again. Okay, make sure I put the link in there. There's the link. Okay. Please have a link. Don't be stupid like that. Okay. It says I can open the link. If I screw this up, guys, just try again. I'll try it again in a minute. All right. I haven't sent it yet. It's going to both of you. Give me just a second. And George. All right. See, you can never do this on regular TV. People will be cussing you like crazy. And some of you might be doing it right now. Do I look like I've aged a lot because I'm doing this with my glasses? The funny thing is, I have aged a lot. George. Right. And that is going to come from that email address because it's easier to keep up with. And send. I didn't put a subject in it, guys. So if you, well, I'll see you all pop in. We're up to 257 people. I love this. Thank you all for showing up and just hanging out and chatting tonight. And for those of you that know my number that have texted me directly, well, thank you very much. I appreciate the direct. See, one of the guys has a burner account and he's in this chat right now. So that's what it is. All right, where are we at? Let me scroll back down or scroll back up a little bit. Do I have anybody waiting in the lobby yet? No, not yet. But they'll be coming here in a minute. All right, let's go to the questions real quick. Your live show light isn't lit up. It isn't lit up. You're right. You know what? We'll do that here in just a second. I will get that thing lit up for you. Okay. And the reason is the cord comes to right there and the plug's right there. And I had been plugging it into something else and making it work, but it was just wonky. So I'll get it here in just a minute when I get these other two guys in. I see Shane has made it in, so that's good. So Shane is in there. And let's add Shane. He's backstage. That's what it's called, backstage, y'all. So let's bring Shane Smith in.
Hey, buddy.
Shane.
Can you hear me all right?
Hey, buddy. What you doing?
Not much. A little kitchen table weather, bud.
I know, right? I know. I just got, I was just looking at those storms. I was like, you know what? Let's just go on. Let's just go on and have some fun and talk about it.
Yeah, I was on a little bit earlier, about 10 or so, was on for about a half hour or so over on YouTube and Facebook. Saw you popped on, so I had to come badger you a little bit.
So you're like, oh, well, what's he want? That's kind of what happened. Shane, tell everybody who you are and what you do and all that good stuff.
So meteorologist Shane Smith. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, all the socials. Was a full-time broadcast meteorologist for about 7 years. Back in 2016, made the transition to full-time education. So I teach for Laurel County Schools in their media arts program, but still do some broadcast meteorology on the side and social media. And I was your intern back in 2007 back at WYMT. And my weather claim to fame besides that is Ryan Hall was my intern at YMT in 2014. So for weather geeks out there who may know who that is, the lineage of WYMT weather guys. So fun little weather fact there. But nowadays, I'm teaching part of the time, doing weather part of the time, got a 5-year-old Eli and my lovely wife Amanda, and we are always out traveling and on adventures. But just enjoy talking weather and enjoy getting to spend some time with you because I've learned a lot from you over the years.
So that's, I was trying to give you more. I was giving you all kinds of time so I could get that light turned on back there.
Got to get those technical
I
difficulties worked out.
was trying to get that done. So you just keep talking. I'm gonna go here and work some
All right,
more.
yeah,
Okay?
I'll let you mess around with it. So
yeah, you do that for just a second. I like.
All right, let me get this pulled up to where I can at least see the chat. So for those of y'all that may know me on the TV side of things, worked at WYMT full time from 2013 to 2016. I still freelance for them and WKYT on occasion, and have been fascinated with Kentucky weather as long as I can remember. I was the kindergarten kid that was saying, "Oh, I'm going to be a meteorologist when I grow up," and the teacher was like, "Who is this kid that he's talking about being a meteorologist?" And Jim, I think George said to check your text. So I think George was trying to get up with you. Just saw that down in the chat. I'm going to have to definitely work on figuring this out because this is being able to watch the text in one window and then have the live stream in another. That's a little bit different than what I'm used to in my normal setup, but hey, it's fun. Learning experience, right? But yeah, been a professional meteorologist now since 2008, graduated Western Kentucky University, double majored meteorology and broadcast journalism. I've done a little bit of everything, TV side of things, done some producing, done some reporting, done a lot of weather. Once had to anchor a morning newscast when somebody missed shifts, so that was fun.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, bud.
So George texted while I was over there.
Yeah, I think George was trying to get up with you.
Okay.
George, you may want to check your spam filter because that it hit on mine where it didn't have a subject. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't send a subject, so check that. Yeah, check your spam folder, George. Yeah, that's a good idea. Have you and George met yet?
We have not actually officially met yet, so I'm kind of excited to hang out.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Kid, everybody's a kid to me. But yeah, Shane, I'm going to try something else here because this is all just a learning experience.
Hey, it's fun to play around and learn.
So, there we are, 2 little boxes.
Hey, there's radar.
And there's a radar over there. So, I mean, just since I've been on, they've weakened a lot. You notice that?
Yeah, they're definitely trending downward, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, since we are in the middle of the night, you don't have as much heat to fuel things up. I mean, there's tons of moisture to work with. That's not the not the issue. You just don't have the instability from the lack of the daytime heating to kind of give those storms that pop and that zing.
Just like just like we got earlier in the day, and like I said earlier, I mean, man, you just walk outside and it's miserable.
Hey, George said send it. He just sent you another email address, so send the link to that one. Maybe that one will go through a little easier.
George, you're being such a difficult fella. Shane, will you answer some of those?
Yeah, I'll answer those.
While I'm typing this email in again.
Yeah, sure thing. So I think we will see these storms continue to kind of dissipate a bit as they push to the southeast. I'm with Jim. I don't think we'll see anything major severe overnight. The big question I have is, do we see that kind of training develop like what the HRRR, the HRRR, however you like to call it, was showing? George says his website email has an incredible firewall. So I think the firewall's catching it.
Well, here's what happened. It was my fault. I didn't put the .com on there.
Oh, that'll do her. That'll do it.
So that'll do it every time. So all right, now I've got it, George, and it is in the box, ready. It's sending anyway. All right, there it'll come your way. All right. So it's on its way.
Yeah. One of the things too that I'm noticing, Jim, is I'm not seeing as much lightning, and usually when you see those lightning counts start to drop, that's a sign that they are weakening a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's significantly lower right now. Anything that tries to get going and can stay alive, though, as you said earlier, it could, it could bring some heavy rain. And that's what I'm so worried about now, because just think about how high those totals were earlier today.
Oh my gosh! Where did Lexington end up today? Was it over 4 inches?
No, it wasn't over 4. Chris actually texted me earlier and showed me the official number, but it was he had some astonishing stat. Let me go back here and look at what he sent.
I saw it was like 7th wettest day in June, I think is what I saw him tweet out earlier.
So, well, here's what he sent, and he probably tweeted too. He said, out of the 55,000 days of recorded history in Lexington, only 26 have been wetter than today.
Wow! So top 50 wet day in Lexington.
That's pretty impressive right there. That's what Chris sent earlier.
So Jim, we are getting a little feedback from Rhoda Eldit asking if we can maybe make the font on some of the cities a little bit bigger. I know we probably can't do that for now, but it's something to maybe note for later. Especially and guys, for a little inside baseball for y'all, trying to design something that is equally readable on a phone, on a TV screen, on an iPad or a tablet, it's a little tricky. So just know, I know Jim's going to be working on this and get it all lined out eventually, but it's trying to figure all this out. We're kind of in the Wild West here.
Oh, I just heard a little buzzer go off, so that means that George is here.
Oh, cool.
Surely, I hope it just adds another person right below that. So we'll see how this goes. Ah, there he is. There's George, everybody, from Weather Now, Kentucky.
What's up, George?
Open your mic, George.
I see your mouth, but I'm not hearing you, bud.
The first time I ever talked to George, this happened. we were doing like a call of some sort. I can't remember. And
I'm seeing like a little mute icon, but he's working on it.
He's working on it. Okay. All right. There's some good advice from Neil Middleton, by the way. Neil Middleton says, try turning your phone horizontal. That makes the text look larger. So there's that. Yeah. Neil used to be both of our bosses.
Yep.
Well, he was our boss. He was not two people. George in here now? I wonder what it is. Anyway, guys, that's George.
George is awesome.
Hello.
Hey, we're here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let me turn my AC off so you can hear that in the background.
Kentucky weather meetup. I love it.
Goodness, I'm using the backup. So does it sound terrible? I'm using the
No,
backup.
it's good.
Okay.
I turned you up a little bit, but yeah, you sound. I mean, for me to hear, because I don't have the headphones on like you. George always looks so, polished when he's doing that. He's got his fancy stuff on,
No, I've been doing it for I don't know how long now, 8 years. So I've gotten used to the social media stuff now. I gotta teach you some more, Jim.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to show these old dogs how to do the streaming thing, man.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. It's people think you just hop on and turn on the camera and you're good to go, but that's it takes a little bit of practice, because like from your all's background in the TV, everything was kind of set up for you from the production and everything. So it definitely makes it quite interesting. That's for sure.
So everybody is saying that you sound a little farther away, George. So if you internally turn up more what you've got there, then yeah, that should be good. By the way, George, this is Shane. Shane, this is George.
Hi, Shane.
Hey, George.
There you go. Much better.
That's better. Are we good?
Yeah, you were much better there. I heard you better. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the backup here, so I don't have the backup quite quite queued up. Oh, I see it's lighting up there. I can see my meter now. That should be better then.
Oh yeah, you're coming in a lot fuller now.
Okay, awesome. I can go up even more. So just let me know.
No, yeah, no, I think you sound good, and the comments are saying better as well. Can you see the comments too over here on the side? Can you? Do you see them too, Shane, or no?
Well, I had to switch. I had to click the comments tab, and when I clicked that, I can
You
see.
can see them. Okay. All right. Again, but I'm just learning. I've only used this by myself. I've never used it with 3 people in it before. So
This is my first time in this platform, so learning experience for me too.
Yeah, what is it? StreamYard, Jim?
StreamYard. Yeah. I like it. I paid for it. So I bet
Yeah. I don't think I've ever paid for a streaming platform. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, George.
I'm cheap. I'm cheap. I'm cheap.
It's not that you're cheap. It's just you're
Frugal, efficient.
well, he's more technical savvy than I am. So
Well, my wife says I'm cheap, so we'll just roll with that.
that works.
Oh, let me guess, George OBS.
Give us a throwdown on the weather tonight, you two. I mean, you're looking at these storms right now. What are you thinking, George? We haven't heard from you yet. So what are you thinking?
Well, I think we've made a couple of posts on it. These storms, in my opinion, will turn a little bit more south, only because you don't have anything to really pull it out to the east anymore. Like you guys have mentioned, it's we're in the daytime. They can go a little bit more to the east there with a little bit more of that heat instability. But the wind fields are pointing a little bit more to the south on the surface there. So I think they're probably pushing a little bit more south. But this is still more, in my opinion, an Eastern Kentucky event, which is kind of interesting because the SBC and everyone else had this all set up to be a Central Kentucky type of line tonight. But with the lack of that initiation this afternoon and initiating much later, it pulled it more toward the east there. But eventually this will turn more south and kind of get into Lexington, Stanton, which Lexington had a ton of rain earlier, where they end up at like 4 inches.
Just shy.
340 something, I think.
All within a very short span too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys? I know we're getting off track here, and we'll get back on track. But did you guys see the Lanesville, Indiana, and Corydon, Indiana stuff earlier?
No, I missed it.
I saw some stuff that Ben Pine shared, and I think you shared some of it too. Just heartbreaking.
Yeah, they had a singular cell go through that produced 8-inch per hour rainfall rates.
Oh,
I don't know if I've ever personally seen that before. We've had some incredible rainfall over the years. Obviously, last year comes to mind. But so you're talking about 8-inch per hour rates. I don't know if I've ever seen that out of a singular cell before. And it was incredible incredible in the way, a very negative way of how fast that flash flooding is. So one thing I do want to mention tonight is that we've seen this in Missouri a couple nights ago. We saw it in Western Kentucky last night. These types of storm systems, as these two guys know, love to go down into somewhere and kind of fade out between 3 to 4 a.m. And then once that sun rises up about 6 to 8 a.m., they like to fire again. And that can create a little bit of that training atmosphere, especially on an environment like Lexington, Danville, Stanton, and Eastern Kentucky. I call that Central Eastern Kentucky. People call it whatever. But I call it Central Eastern Kentucky. That type of area has already seen 3 to 5 inches of rainfall today. You're talking about the potential for 1 to 3 inches more overnight in the early morning. Look out for some of that flash flooding, and please pay attention to those warnings. A lot of people don't think rainfall, those flash flooding warnings are very important, but those are some of the most life-threatening warnings that you can get. So definitely pay attention to those flash flood warnings throughout the morning and the overnight. That's what I got.
I know the HRRR was going really aggressive on firing up cells off outflow boundaries.
That's what I was trying to run here, so we can kind of just look at it there for in the morning, and yeah, I mean that's what it's doing right there. Getting this other thing out of my face.
And if you're not of the nerdy weather vernacular, so what an outflow boundary is, whenever you get that rain-cooled air from a thunderstorm that goes through, it kind of just sets up almost like a little baby mini cold front, maybe miles wide. It'll just roll on out, kind of hang out there, and the next day, when you get that heating kicking in, it just acts as a trigger mechanism to fire up new storms.
You know what? I'm going to check while you guys are talking. I'm going to see what the flash flood guidance ratio is right now for out there in Eastern Kentucky, which I'm assuming it's very close. So
I'm guessing it's probably about 2 inches in an hour right now, would be my guess.
Yeah. Let's see here. Surprisingly, it's a little bit lower than I thought. You're at about 50%. So yeah, about 1 inch to 2 inches within that hour and a half time frame. would put you in that flash flood. I mean, like it all depends on how many storms are behind it, guys, and everything like that as well. How
Right.
much training you actually get. And I am kind of surprised. They did put out I don't know if you can pull that up on your radar there, Jim, but they did pull out a mesoscale discussion for heavy rainfall, but it only includes those areas along the river: Owenton, Louisville, going up here toward Florence, Independence, up there in far northern and north central Kentucky.
I haven't
So
seen that yet. Yeah.
a little bit surprised that they didn't extend that any further south into Lexington's an obvious one. I'm looking at let me pull up the Kentucky Mesonet as well. If you guys don't use that, that's a phenomenal
Oh, I love it. Mesonet.
resource.
Well, they're
one-
supposed to be writing me back and give me permission. They have not done that yet.
Well, they somehow gave it to me, so I'm sure you'll be just fine. They'll get it to you. So it was 3.88 inches at that station in Fayette County North, but it was a little bit more just to the south, so probably about 4.5 inches. So yeah, probably not too far off there. It looks like Lexington area saw about 4 inches. The Hardin County area going toward Grayson County saw almost 5.5 inches there earlier. That was from the same band that kind of put down that chord in Lanesville, Indiana type of stuff. So that's not very surprising. We had a couple of roads here, major roads here in Hardin County. That's where I live, by the way, everyone, if you didn't know, that actually got closed today for the rain. There was a lot of places underwater today.
Yeah. But
So that's kind of surprising.
they had part of Levi Jackson Park down here in London closed down due to high water earlier today, too.
And and in Lexington, Lexington, the biggest thing is, they got all that urban flooding where the drains get backed up,
Mhm.
and there was plenty of that, in the city today too. Again, early this morning it started happening. So, and that's just because the water can't get out. It can't go where it needs to go in a fast enough amount of time. So that's what they ran into here today, and that's why there was a little bit of what they called an emergency. Bless you. Did y'all hear my dog sneeze there? Did you hear that? Yeah. Okay, sure.
The joys of home broadcasting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
That's why I finally just bought a separate building. There were the dogs in the background was getting on my nerves. The kiddos, I love them to death, but it's not professional.
The weather shed, I love it.
Yeah, and it's worked out. It's worked out pretty well, and I'm trying to set up a little podcast side so we can do more stuff like this. I'll just read some of the comments real quickly. See a lot of people still asking about severe threat or how bad something's supposed to get tonight. Guys, quite frankly, we're talking about a storm coming in that's dependent upon heat coming through the overnight hours here, midnight to 5 a.m. It's not going to do anything. So just to put it very simply for you guys, I'm sure that I don't know how these two guys are looking at it, but I'm just over here looking at the comments and just wanted to put some of those to rest for you guys. That just not a whole lot of anything with this. A lot of lightning. The dew points are still up. The heat's still up there a little bit. It's still very sticky outside. A lot of lightning. A lot of thunder. These are Jim and Shane, these are the types of storms that I always tell folks they're going to sound a lot worse than what they actually are.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm thinking.
this is like your definite like summertime boomers. You just get those thunderstorms that rattle the hollows and they sound bad, and you're going to get a gully washer or two, but it's not going to be like severe winds, severe hail. It's just going to be a lot of lightning, some driving rain. My only big concern is, do we get too much rain in a few isolated spots too quickly? That's the big thing I'm watching for overnight and into tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get the dog away. He hit me, and the mouse went crazy. So that's it took away all the data. But just think about what we've seen here the past little bit here, the past week or so. You get all this rough weather in Canada, which they can get in the plains there. I mean, it's just like our plains as well. It just takes a few more ingredients to get it up there, and then you think about what we could see again. What the storms. Look at all these watches that are out. I mean, tons of watches, tons of warnings, and again, I don't have Canadian watches and warnings turned on with this, but look at all that. That is a tremendous amount of real estate. And the Storm Prediction Center, they called that. They had an enhanced risk out there for today. And it's wild out there.
The wind from the storms yesterday was just insane. Like getting
oh my goodness, it's
mile per hour gust recorded.
Look at Kansas. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Like legit hurricane force wind that far inland just from
Yeah.
a thunderstorm is just wild.
I mean, it was so incredible, Shane, that they. I'm not sure you saw it because you were watching, but they had warnings out an hour in advance of the line for not. We're not talking about your Kentucky 60-mile-per-hour warning. We're talking about 90-mile-per-hour wind warnings an hour in front of the line.
I was seeing like PDS and considerable tags.
It was
flying out crazy.
incredible. It was incredible. We were live last night, and we were, admittedly, the line last night kind of died at some point and was moving incredibly slow. So we took a little bit of a peek over there towards Central Kansas and a couple of the chasers that were live on the app that we use, and it was incredible to see just nonstop, just the grass getting ripped and just everything. I mean, it was incredible. Some of the radar readings we were getting out there. I don't know if they've done any storm surveys yet. I haven't gone back and actually checked, but I am. It's a great. I do know that at an airport in Canada tonight, they did have 113 mile per hour straight line wind reading.
Man,
That's incredible.
that's
That's
wild.
Incredible. You don't really think about that with these summertime storms that much. I mean, yeah, you can with the MCSs and stuff, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember the derecho that hit West Virginia back in 2012. I was working up in Oak Hill back then, and we had like widespread 85-mile-per-hour winds, and it knocked power out in some spots up there for 2
yeah.
weeks. It was, you had wind coming in 30 minutes before it even rained.
Yeah, every time I see something like that, I think back to March of 2023 when we had that day when it wasn't even storming. It was just 60 to 70 mile per hour constant winds throughout the state. And I'm thinking about that and what it did to our state then, and looking at nights like last night in Kansas where you're just looking at 90 to 100, 115. You're talking about solid hurricane force winds in the middle of the country at midnight. It's just incredible to think about when a lot of these storms are heat-based storms. They're Cape-based storms. That's what we talk about when we're talking about heat-based storms. It's very layman the way we're explaining it, but there are a lot more of those fuel-based storms, and so typically those are more of your 6 to 10 p.m. type of storms that go crazy. Once you get past that window, typically they start to wane down. But that Kansas storm line, that Kansas MCS last night was just incredible. An incredible freak of nature.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I mean, you all started talking, and I just I was tinkering over here doing some other things.
No, you're
And
okay.
Hey, dude,
Responded to text messages too. So
we just
Oh,
have
yeah,
a
there's
good time talking weather.
there he is. George, you mentioned an app. You can say which app it is. It's fine.
Hey, I was respecting the host. That's how you respect the host.
You can.
But
Well, you can
yeah.
say because it's a good tool.
Well, and you just got a nice little gig over with them, if I understand correctly.
Yeah. Now I'm their PR guy, their social media guy, which is pretty cool. It's been tough to it's been an adjustment. This week, with everything kind of ticking up here, finally for the first time in I don't know, a month and a half here, and then of course starting that, and we have something cool coming out soon as well. Can't speak too much on that, but yeah, it's the WeatherWise app that we use that we also work with now and helping them out and trying to grow their game because the radar game is getting insane. A lot of these tools that are coming, I mean. I work for WeatherWise, but Weatherfront coming out now is an incredible app. Aguacero, which is something that Jim and I use sometimes. Is Shane? Yeah, that is probably if they could streamline it a little bit more, make it a little bit more easy for those new users to come into. That app is incredible. It's like when I first got my hands on it, and now they've got the storm tracking tool, which is crazy cool. It's like something that you would use on a broadcast from TV that has been brought now to the social media world. So, it's no secret that the TV industry is dying, and some of these stations are holding on. I don't know how. I don't know how they're holding on, but they're holding on. But eventually that'll be all gone. So, but now you've got all these tools coming out that make the transition a little bit easier for some of those folks coming out of the TV world, going into the social media world if they still want to stay in that. I would say they can go to the NWS world, but that's not possible right now either. So it's going to be cool because when you got all those folks coming out of the TV world and they're forced to use these things, it's going to make these things even better because they've got a lot of great experience, of course, a lot of great knowledge in that TV world. But yeah, a lot of your weather apps coming out now are just the capabilities of them. And then WeatherWise is probably at the forefront of that with all the live chasers that you can watch in there. So you're not only, looking at the storm on the radar, but you got the live chasers. You've got Hazcams, which is blowing up across, especially the East Coast, and there's the cameras in Kentucky are blowing up now too. It's incredible. We're not only looking at a storm on radar, but we have real eyeballs on it, and then WeatherWise added the push alerts and stuff. This is a really cool app, and it's really great, and I think it's helped a lot of folks out. Did you guys see their new Tornado ID feature that they added?
I saw Ryan using that a little bit the other night, and I was pretty impressed by it. That's a pretty cool feature.
No, I haven't seen it. No, tell me more about it.
It is. So are you able to share my screen, Jim, and I'll show you? Or is that something that you're not wanting to do? It's okay.
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
There's a little button.
Share screen.
Yeah, plus sign there at the bottom, George. You might be able to.
WeatherWise.
Okay, I see another thing. Okay, I can take that. On the right mouse because I've got 15 of them. Add to stage.
George, while he's pulling that up, I'll tell you a funny story from when I was interning under Jim back in 2007. So back in those days, just to render out like a 2-day run of the NAM would take like 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
You'd have to leave a computer rendering for like 45 minutes to generate.
Oh my goodness!
All the frames to show.
But that was the peak of TV weather. that was the. I remember even as a kid, I was always watching TV weather back then. That 2007 to like 2015, I swear to goodness, was like peak TV weather. It was so awesome.
I would come into the weather center about 2:00 right before Jim would get there, and I would start rendering out his surface map, rendering out some of the mesoscale model data, and like start getting everything ready for him, because back then it took that long to get everything ready. Like you had to have hours prepared to get all your graphics going, and now you can have stuff together in seconds or minutes.
That is incredible.
That is
stupid. Incredible.
It was. All right, so wait. So show us what you got here then.
Yeah, so this is, of course, this is on WeatherWise. Let me go ahead and, because it just went off, but it was just on, and of course, it's not going to show it for me now. Lovely. I just had a beautiful example for you. Let me see if I can snake one out. No, I just had a perfect example for you, and it just went off. I have a video, though, I can probably show as well. Come on.
So they've got like a classification on radar for tornado. I don't know what
it was almost like, remember the old like TVS markers, how they would show up in some systems. It was like a more advanced version of that Ryan was showing the other night.
Yeah, so basically what it is, and I can kind of read it from the display down here too. So just to give you this is Tornado ID is an advanced artificial intelligence. So yes, it's AI, folks, designed to analyze weather radar data in real time and identify tornadoes. Rather than only looking for clear tornado signatures, it also flags storms that are tornadic in general, storms exhibiting signatures that can lead them to develop into tornadoes. So from what I understand from the way that they explained this to me, and I can't release all the details, but they have trained this to basically pick up on traditional signatures. And not only that, but to be able to read environmental characteristics and then check for all kinds of things. And so what happens is, and I wish I could show you this because it just popped up. And of course now it's away because it's outflowing up there. Oh, there we go. Because what happens was when it tries to pick up on some sort of rotation, it'll give you a confidence score. And of course it'll give you the radar that's closest by. But basically it's an AI that tries to pick up on rotation, and it's been proven. We've got videos that this is actually working. Now it's not 100%, obviously. I don't know why I keep clicking on it. But it's not 100%, and they're still going to get more training and better on it. But it tries to pick up on little mesovortices or rotation that may be occurring. And what we've seen is actually, I have a recording from last night that even in Kentucky, last night in Western Kentucky, this tornado ID signature came up 2 minutes before the warning came out. And there's more proof. Steven, the developer, has one from California last year where it was 14 minutes ahead. The warning came out 14 minutes late. and it still was confirmed as an EF1 tornado. So Tornado ID actually picked it up 14 minutes beforehand. And even if it's something like 2 or 3 minutes beforehand, and sometimes it's going to be wrong, but most times it's actually been pretty good on picking up rotation. You're talking about those minutes that EMs can start producing or start moving their teams out. I mean, that's life-saving minutes you're talking about. So this is an incredible feature. And of course, rotation is not always being something tornadic is happening, but it does at least try to help the casual user out. We obviously know what to look for when it comes to tornadic signatures, but the casual user may not know exactly what to look for, and it helps them kind of understand, like, hey, this is a rotation signature. Even if it's not warned yet, maybe let's stay inside for a few minutes and see what happens.
Yeah, so if you're using that WeatherWise app and you start seeing that big red spinning circle near your town, that's time. Go ahead and get underground, get in your shelter, because there's at least some kind of
yeah. And I will say they've had it out for a couple of months now, and while there's been some failures, I will say for the most times when I do see it pop up and I go look at the radar, there is some sort of evidence there to support rotation happening. Now, again, whether that's elevated rotation or surface-based rotation, which if you guys don't know the difference between that, elevated usually means more toward hail and wind. Surface is more toward wind and damaging or tornadoes. So that's the difference between those two. So whether it's elevated or surface-based, it has had some sort of evidence to back it up. But again, it just helps the casual user kind of be like, hey, maybe something is spinning out here. Now, I wouldn't say see it and freak out or be like, oh my God, it's tornado coming. There needs to be more evidence and more support. But there are even some NWS offices starting to look at the WeatherWise Tornado ID. Now, again, I can't mention who or what's going on or so on and so forth, but it's been an incredible tool that's starting to make its way into the professional side as well, not just the casual or what some meteorologists like to call me, a social meteorologist type of field. So it's a pretty cool tool, and no other radar has it yet because of course WeatherWise built it in house, but it is really, really cool.
I like the way it looks. I as far as my phone, I've used Radar Omega for years and years. I just like it. I just like it. It is what it is.
Yeah. What's funny is the lead developers from Radar Omega, when it was in its prime, are the owners and developers of WeatherWise.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
It's very incestuous, I'm sure, like a lot of things. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's again, it's a really cool app. I know everyone has their own things that they're used to. I still like Radar Scope from time to time, although it's definitely not built for broadcast or for social media. It just doesn't look good. You know what I mean? But it is still an incredibly accurate app. My take on it, every radar app is going to, pretty much tell you what's happening. It's all about like the speed, which WeatherWise has this really cool thing where, most radar apps, Jim and Shane, they wait until the full radar scan comes in. WeatherWise loads in as it's coming in. So like it doesn't wait until the end of the scan. It loads in as it's coming in. So that speed I really like, and it looks good. You can do pretty much what you want to it. Yeah, so it's a really cool thing.
It's definitely handy seeing those scans as they come in. It can help you make some decisions a lot quicker, or at least give folks a heads up.
Yeah, that's why Ryan and them were able to do those y'all watches so quick. Mm-hmm. And that's becoming a growing thing. So I think the door's been left open for him a little bit by some of the errors that are happening across the country, but that has been a really cool thing to see them do. And then the guy that's usually behind that, Andy Hill, is probably one of the smarter meteorologists I think I've ever seen.
Dude, Andy is crazy smart.
His lead time on things is incredible. But yeah, and maybe we'll get the opportunity to work on that someday or do some stuff like that. But I still am very much stuck in the NWS should be the only one issuing watches and warnings. But we're just getting to a time where, it's just Ryan's got a massive following, and a lot of those people will never ever look at the NWS.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be it's a very interesting time that we're in.
Well, I think the way people consume media has changed so much, even just in the last 5 years. Like
Yeah.
it is crazy to see the kind of numbers you can pull now. Even like
Yeah.
we're sitting here 12:15, 12:17 on a random Wednesday morning. We got 125 people watching us on Facebook right now,
Yeah.
which is just insane.
Yeah.
And
I
you
agree.
all and you all are just talking about technology stuff, and they're still listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it.
Well,
So,
I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating because change is really cool. It's also really hard for some people, but it's really really cool. And if you get with the times and everything like that, there's a lot of cool new life saving things out there. And then some other facets, the post I made earlier, I'm sure some people have seen. We're taking a step backwards in some other categories and some other groups and outlets. So it's a really interesting dilemma that we're in. Some groups are advancing, some groups are taking a step backwards out of no fault of their own, but that's just where we're at.
Systemically, the weather enterprise, I think we're on the precipice of you're going to have to see a big push of resources to kind of push us into whatever the next generation of weather forecasting is. I think we've still got to do a lot of work on getting a more quick scanning, whether it's phased array, whether it's another type of radar deployed nationwide. I think that's the next big thing in severe weather. And then just in overall forecasting, we got to get more upper air data fed into the models and better upper air data. Like trying to forecast winter weather in Eastern Kentucky is about trying to shoot a rat at 500 yards blindfolded.
Oh, I can. And when I first started, I only did Western and Central Kentucky. I didn't do Eastern Kentucky for that specific reason. The elevation out there is, and not only that, but it's missing information. And so it's Eastern Kentucky. I mean, the example I give is that this past winter when we had that big winter storm, right? And just about everyone on planet Earth that forecast weather got that wrong. You think everyone got it wrong on purpose or wanted to get it wrong? No, the information's bad. When a storm shifts 600 miles at its center in the last 48 hours before approach, that's not bad meteorology. That's bad data. And so the changes that have been made, we'll hold the line here because it's not my stream, but the changes that have been made are absolutely affecting the quality of weather information that you're getting. And it has nothing to do with the meteorologist on air, or on social media, at the National Weather Service. It has to do with the information is not there. It's not there. So, but that's what makes people like Ryan coming in. And let's face it, the guy's probably absolutely rolling in money. So anyone thinks he isn't is just bizarre. Because I know how YouTube works, and let's just say that guy's comfortable. And so he's bringing in all his money now and doing all these cool things now and making all these new weather toys. That's what I mean when I say it's a real interesting time that we're in, because you're getting out of the way that things have been done, and now you're getting into the way things are going, but no one's tested those things yet. No one's used those things a lot. So it's quite interesting the time that we're in.
It's very much the Wild West right now. See, we had a couple questions just about just kind of the overall pattern tonight, guys. Not looking too bad. Some heavy rain, some loud thunder, some intense lightning. That's going to be moving into northern Kentucky here in the next hour or so. You're probably seeing the lightning on the horizon, places like Covington, Carrollton, Louisville, right there along the Ohio River. That should track pretty much southeast over the next 2 to 4 hours. So Shelbyville, Owenton, Dry Ridge, y'all start seeing that rain move in the next hour or two, eventually work its way down Lexington, Moorhead, probably about the morning commute.
Yeah, again, that boundary is probably that rain that we're seeing coming in now, folks, is not really going to present much of a severe threat for anybody. Really, no. I mean, there hasn't been a severe warning attached to that line in an hour and 40 minutes. So there's really no severe threat with this line. And overall, it's kind of losing some of the rain with it a little bit. And some of the lightning's going down. So we're seeing all kinds of signs that this line is pretty much fizzling out, but that's going to leave, like Shane kind of alluded to, and something we call an outflow boundary, which I like to call an invisible layer that will be sparked later on this morning, probably going to that morning commute that you talked about, leading to some more rain, thunder showers for that kind of that's I call it central eastern Kentucky portion of the area. See a lot of folks in here from Pikeville, asking about Pikeville and Pike County, and I'm just trying to see. I like to go through and get a summary sometimes. Fayette County, Bowling Green, and Maysville. So mostly eastern Kentucky here. Again, no real severe threat. Just looking at that flash flooding potential maybe for the morning commute. Someone in here out of Bowling Green, I don't think there's really hardly a thing going on for you besides maybe a few clouds.
Yeah, Western Kentucky, I don't think is going to be very active tomorrow.
Yeah, and you know, Western Kentucky deserved a break this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys. I know the flooding's been kind of going crazy out in Eastern Kentucky. Last year, everyone had the flooding, but Western Kentucky's just been, I mean, golly, just slammed. And then I see Rusty asked, "What part of Kentucky are y'all in?" I live in Hardin County, so see on Jim's radar over there where it says Fort Knox and Elizabethtown along the I-65 line. That's where I am. And then Shane can let you know about him.
Yeah, and I'm down in Laurel County. I'm just south of London, so right there on the I-75 corridor. The EF4 hit 2 miles north of my house last year.
So, yeah, that was a scary one. And the thing that sucks about, not sucks, but anyway, the thing, for lack of layman terms, the thing that sucks about southeastern Kentucky is the lack of radar out there. We really, like I've always said, Somerset needs a radar, and just it would fix everything right there.
Somerset needs a radar. I think there's a good argument to be made. You need a radar up around Lexington, just because there is such a big gap between Jackson and Louisville. And really, I think you need one somewhere, Columbia, somewhere over there to cover that gap south of Louisville, over near Fort Campbell. There's Southern Kentucky is so underserved.
Well, it's so crazy, Shane, because you got the radar tower in Paducah, you've got the radar tower in Nashville. You really don't need the one that's there just east of Hopkinsville, but you have it there, and then over there towards Somerset, Campbellsville, and then up there toward Maysville, Flemingsburg, there's no radar. So it made that EF4 that came through London last year so tricky.
It was hard, dude. I was tracking that live that night, and I know you were too. Like, it was just until it got just east of Somerset, and you could really start getting a better feel of the lower level because you weren't overshooting so much. Once it got east of Somerset, it was just it was.
And everyone realized what was happening. And we all freaked out.
Yeah.
Because you could tell it was spinning. I mean, that thing was spinning all the way from Missouri.
It was tornado warned all the way.
But you couldn't really tell. Yeah, once it got to about what is that? Yeah, once it got to about Columbia, you couldn't really tell exactly what was happening at that very low level there until it got to about right about London. Then we all saw it, and then at that same time, that now historic photo of that lightning just lighting up the tornado. We were all like, wow, what in the world? And the sucky part is it was rain wrapped at times. It was nighttime. You couldn't see anything. That was incredible. Just going through some more of these. Someone said, how about Rowan County? I have some storm anxiety. Again, like the rest of Kentucky, my friend, I don't think there's really much of anything to be worried about except for maybe some flash flooding if you get some training of those storms. I don't think I see anything else there, Shane. Then
I saw Madison, Indiana. Just some heavy rain up tonight, right along the Ohio River. That's just across the river from Carrollton and such, or just down from it. So
I see somebody that says he's back. I took a little break, y'all. I just walk away.
Yeah, we now know why Jim wanted Shane and I to come on here.
Jim needed a break.
There's Marie's on there. Or is it Mary? You know what? I've never said it out loud, but she is one of my biggest defenders in comments on Facebook. As you all know, people are pretty mean. And is it?
Oh yeah.
Is it Marie or is it Mary? I don't know. I've never had to say it out loud before. Anyway, love her. She can be vicious in the comments too, but not toward me, toward everybody else.
You need a bulldog protecting you,
right? And that's what I told her. I said, you're my protector, you're my enforcer. And it got so, she had to fight with people so often that I was noticing that Facebook was automatically hiding her comments. So I
Mhm.
don't know if somebody had complained about her. So if some of your comments didn't show up, I didn't realize it until later. I was like, why is it hidden? And because I didn't hide it. So it is Mary. All right,
So,
thank you.
so
But
here's
yes,
Go ahead.
here's a fun story about how mean people can be. And Jim, you'll probably appreciate this. So right after you headed up north, and we were kind of splitting shifts there, summer of what was it, 2013, I think.
13 on the left. Yeah. Yeah.
We had a tornado warning that popped up in Clay County on Independence Day. And Brandon, God love him, his soul, was covering the evening shift that night. And like I ran in to help him, and it was just a little Sheriff NATO funnel cloud, like nothing ever touched the ground. But we got the call in the newsroom from this little lady in Leslie County that called and cussed us up and down because we cut in over Andy Griffith for a tornado warning one county
over Andy.
over Andy Griffith of all things.
Dude, I have seen so many stories. Now, obviously, I've never been on TV. I've never had to deal with that, but I've seen so many stories of people just saying the craziest things for you guys cutting in back then. And it is just insane. Like, no, I need to watch my football. Who cares about someone's life? Like, it's just the craziest thing to me that people were actually. But we get some wild messages and comments too. So I guess it's not that out of the realm of beliefs that people were doing that.
Let me tell you a story about early on. I'd been working at YMT for about, let's say it was 2 months, maybe. I was young, y'all. I was really young when I started, and
It's been a long time ago.
it was a long time ago. It was 2001, and
George, were you even bored yet?
2001, I was 4.
all right, see, there you go. So back then, I had to run to the newsroom because our studio did not have a live weather center, and I ran. So when my weather hit was over, I had to go back to the newsroom and man the phones because we didn't have that many people that worked overnight at that time. Long story short, this phone rings. I clearly answer it and say, WYMT newsroom, this is Jim. I say that. And this woman on the other end, she says, that guy that just did the weather is effing pathetic, and just continues to bash me. So this was the first time I'd had it. Because again, like I said, it was early on, probably first couple of months. And so I was like, okay. I said, but then when I realized she didn't know it was me, and maybe she didn't, she was just being extra mean. I said, so ma'am, he's a really good guy, and he's doing a great job, we all think here. And they got him from a station in New York City. With that accent, he's never been anywhere. So she wasn't about to believe that. But that was my first call, and all these years later, a long time ago, I still remember. She had that. She's got that female radio voice, that smoker's voice.
Oh Lord.
Shane, do you remember Mel that worked at 94.3 in
Yes.
Whitesburg?
Yes.
That's
that
voice.
real raspy.
Yeah. And I loved Mel. She
was awesome.
Yeah, she did a great job. But that's kind of voice. It was that raspy kind of voice. And
Wow.
But yeah, I can still hear it to this day.
That is incredible. People like that have always amazed me. Like last night, someone on the broadcast, and I was probably tired and hangry. And you guys know I don't have any bosses, so Jim knows me. Jim's been knowing me for about a year now, Jim, something like that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna tell you how it is. And they just kept saying everything's so small. This is not helpful. What are you doing? I'm like, hey, go watch somebody else. I don't. But it's just amazing to me. People think that just complaining like that is just gonna get them anything. It's just like, just be nice. It's way easier just to be nice in this world. But it's funny you mentioned 94.3. I haven't told this public yet. So Jim, your broadcast gets the first one here. We are partnering with 94.3 The Wolf here in Harlan County, which is Central Kentucky's largest country radio station, to do their weather, which is the first of its kind of deal.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. We've been working on that for a little bit, and and that's the first kind of deal. I say it's the first deal of its kind because there's never been an independent weather outlet that has done that. We looked it up. on a station of 50,000 watts, which is a big radio station, as you guys know. So that's going to be really cool to see. But I wasn't going to say anything because it's not my broadcast, but you brought 94.3 up, and I thought maybe this is a sign that I could let Jim and them know.
Dude, promote it.
Do it. I don't care. We're just here to have a good time. Somebody just mentioned, they said SPC outlook for Saturday, and this is what the SPC outlook looks like right now, guys. So there it is.
Still day 4, so you got that 50.
That's the 15%, right?
Yeah, that's at 15%. That's what that's showing right now.
That's going to grow. Have you guys seen that?
Well, yeah.
I just saw that. I was just looking at that.
I'm talking about like the actual like the data and so forth. That's going to grow. That'll probably be a level 3 out of 5 risk, in my opinion.
It very well could be. Absolutely, yes.
Now the models, we've talked about this, are not that great because of the lack of intrusion of fresh data, but they're projecting 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE out there.
Okay,
which is for the non-weather
for layman,
nerds,
let's say that's impressive.
It's a lot. That's like filling your Prius up, or Prius is probably electric nowadays. It's like filling your Corolla up with a full tank of gas, and they're saying, "Hey, here you go to the storms." So those could get
plenty of energy, plenty of juice to feed off of.
I wanted to see Chris comment real quickly. Chris, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but he's a chaser with 0 meter chasers, and he's phenomenal. He said it was a wild. He's talking about the London tornado that Shane was talking about. Said it was a wild day. The storm clearly became outflow based around Bowling Green, which was true. After struggling to produce a stronger tornado for hours, that's right. It did keep cycling.
Yeah.
Suddenly ramped up once it got past Somerset. I think I remember. I went back, Chris, after that night. There was a thin but very present pocket of an increased 1 kilometer helicity. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took it and it just ran with it. So I had to go back and respond to Chris. I don't know if he's still in the broadcast or not, but yeah, that was an incredible. You just don't see that out in Eastern Kentucky.
No, I mean that was our first EF4. That was our first EF4 in Laurel County.
Was it?
Yeah, we had never had either an F4 or an EF4.
You just don't see that out there with all those hills and hollers. If you guys didn't know the reason, well, there's a lot of reasons to it. But one of the bigger reasons Western Kentucky gets more tornadoes than any other spot in the state is because it's flatter.
Mm-hmm. You have less resistance in the boundary layer.
Tornadoes don't like having to fight mountains or rolling off hills. That's why Eastern Kentucky usually gets more straight line winds, less rotating winds. That's why it cracks me up every time there's a tornado possible tag on every single warning out there. But nonetheless, anyway, that's what made that London tornado, and I know it gives a lot of people PTSD out there, but yeah, I talk about this every time we talk about that tornado. That is going to be hopefully a once in a generation type of thing. That just does not happen out there.
No,
yeah.
Hopefully it's once a generation. I think I said that about the floods the last few years, and it keeps happening.
Yeah.
So what? Here's a good fella who's just
Ryan.
To Ryan Vaughn out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. He's a legend in TV weather out there. He's been there 25 years. Super guy. And I worked with his with his main news anchor's daughter, Destiny Quinn, who's at the station at WKYT, and got to know her. And then she would tell me all these great stories about how Ryan was just such a super guy out there at I can't remember the call letters.
KIT.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So hello, Ryan. And I just talked to him a couple weeks ago on the phone for the first time ever. So good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I mean, let's add him in here too. Why not?
Yeah. I saw a quick question from Brianna Davis asking about Frenchburg. Brianna, probably a few thunderstorms rolling through between like 3 and 6 a.m. Some heavy rain, some gusty winds. Doesn't look severe, but just a little summertime boomer for you.
Summertime boomer. I like that.
While we're on the topic of weather data, have you guys been looking at the impasse models more?
I have started looking at them. I haven't got too deep into them yet.
I urge you guys, both of you, when you get some time, to go back. I don't know how far these models go. I'll use Pivotal Weather. But go back and compare some of these events that have happened the last couple of days and look at those models.
Okay.
They're phenomenal. They are phenomenal. And people kept asking, we nailed, and not to brag, I don't like doing that, but we nailed the March 15th outbreak, back a few months ago. I only looked at the impasse model. I didn't look at any other close range model because the impasse, the way it's built, is so incredible. The physics it has built into it. And it does incredible at particularly like QLCSs and MCSs and MCVs. Those really, I think MCSs are some of the hardest storms to forecast. And it's just done incredibly well. So I just wanted to, before I forgot to mention to you guys, go back and look at that. Any of the other weather nerds in here, start paying more attention to the impasse when they come out. It's incredible. So I had to mention that before I forgot to mention it to you.
I'll have to check that out. Thank you.
Oh no, yeah, that is a good idea. I'm tinkering again, guys. So
Well, it also kind of blows my mind. I'm living in a world where we're not going to have a NAM here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, I'm so thankful for that. If I had to see the NAM goes bam one more time in the winter, I might have actually lost my mind.
Now, George, there was a time when the NAM and the Euro agreed that's what you forecast, and it happened around here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember, like, I when I was in high school, when I started really getting into the weather, and obviously I was terrible, but anytime I saw the NAM model do something, that's all I went with. It was really good. I have to do some more digging, but it's just outside of warm boundaries in the wintertime, it has just been terrible. Terrible. It's interesting because it's not like our world has changed, but the model has kind of changed and its accuracy performance. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then the double RFSA is going to become the standard in replacement of like the HRRR and the NAM. The impasse models are going to become the standard in replacement of the NAM and the rapid refresh. It's going to be really interesting. Again, the impasse models have done really well, especially the RN3. They're more specific. They all have their different families. But it has done pretty well.
Now, what's the so I'm just looking at this on Pivotal. So the RN3, that's a 1 kilometer model. Wow.
Right.
not gonna be anymore.
Yeah. The only thing that's kind of terrible about them is that because they're new and technically in experimental mode, sometimes they don't come out or sometimes they don't run. But yeah, it's been incredible. Now the double RFSA, that one needs a little bit more work. It wants to slab everybody at every chance.
It really has incredible convective feedback. Like it blows up stuff way too much.
It is insane, but it does really well at some of the upper layers. And that's the big thing in the weather world, right? We're in a day and age where people can get on and post anything from any model and get away with it. But if you know how to look at these models and what to look for inside of the models and stay away from some of the things that they're bad at, like double RFSA is obviously bad at putting out the obvious like composite reflectivity and so on and so forth, but it does really good in the upper layers. So it's really interesting. It's very obvious. I always tell everyone it's very obvious who can and can't forecast when it comes to the wintertime, because that's when people can either let go of or hold on to their biases. So it's the same thing with these models too. It's like you got to know what their biases are and play to their strengths.
There was that competition that I jumped in on, and George, you remember that? Shane, you remember that?
Yeah.
And I missed it by several miles. Is what ended up happening. It snowed like that, but it went too far north, if you all recall.
Yeah. And everybody, like we were all playing catch up in the 11th hour because all that data just shifted everything 200 feet north, and it's like we got in the ice cake instead of the snow.
And then when it even happened, it went further north.
So it was wild.
Go ahead, Jim.
That was a wild time.
Yeah, I think Ryan was closest on that, but people weren't realizing he was just using the NWS average model. That's all he was doing. But I love Ryan, but you were cheating. But anyway,
playing the average.
Yeah, that is Ryan to a T, by the way. Which as those guys obviously know. But yeah, that was how I'll probably never forget that storm in my lifetime. I have barely any hair left anyway, but I feel like I lost a lot more during that week just like every run.
There's a reason why many meteorologists in this state are bald. You're seeing 3 of them right now.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
that's true. I guess we are bald. I
It-
never noticed.
it's
Thanks, Shane.
golly. Yeah, I don't know how you didn't notice that. That's a shiner. That's a shiner.
I'm gonna have to go get the powder out, boys. I got
Fellas, this has been fun, but it is going on almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We still have
yeah.
an audience of 78, but I appreciate y'all jumping in, just chatting, having a
Absolutely.
good time.
Thank you so much for having us, man. This was
And
fun. We'll have
let's-
to do this again.
And this was not planned.
Yeah.
I was bored, and I was like, you know what, I want to do a live.
It's
Plus,
when some of the
there's a
cool
couple
stuff
things I
comes
want to
out,
try.
though.
Do what now?
Yeah, it's when some of the cool stuff comes out. We'll have to get Ben next time if he's available.
If he's available, yeah. I
I'd
didn't
love
see
that.
Ryan comment back, so he must have got on and got off. So
I don't blame him. It's late.
it
Yeah.
is late. Well, he's an hour behind us though, so
He's probably heading home right after work, probably right
Yeah.
after the show.
I guess so.
What are these 3 goobers doing?
Why are they up talking about nothing? Yeah. All right, boys. I'll see you all
All right, gentlemen.
later.
Thanks, Jim. George,
very
nice
much, Jim.
meeting you.
See you. So you just heard from George and Shane for an extended period of time there. 2 really good, really good guys. So that's them, both of them for sure. Known Shane a long time, George a little while, and he's been very helpful with some of the things I've done over here. Every comment was more fear mongering. Miss it by miles. Are you talking about that event we missed? I'll say it. You know, I wasn't even on TV then, so yeah, I missed it. I pushed the line of snow too far south, and then I started watching it come together. But by that point, we'd already placed our bets because we were in a bet, and I got screwed on that. I did. So, good night. Good night. Please do this again. I think so. I think so, Rhoda. I think we'll get some more folks in. We'll do more, and we'll have more fun. And then on the nights it's really bad. Everybody be trying to do their own thing because then it becomes competition or whatever the case may be. All right. Let's see. Here's Cindy. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you enjoying that. I really do. You don't have to watch. What don't I have to watch? Did somebody complain? Did somebody complain, Jacqueline? Is that what it is? Did somebody complain in this thread? Because that's what I need to see if somebody complained. And there's George right there. You go. Weather Now, Kentucky. Good guy. Really good guy. Braden, I know you enjoyed it, Braden. This was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we're still at 81 people. But I do have to be at Tates Creek High School about 7:30 in the morning. So if anything gets going, you might get something loud, some thunderstorms. Oh, they didn't complain. Okay. All right. Thank you, Carolyn. The fear-mongering comment. Yeah, right. She was, oh yeah, Mary's just quoting other people. Yeah. She was saying that's what they did. That's what they were saying when we were talking about the end of the world snow. You know what was funny about that event? We missed it, but we ended up in worse shape than we were. Now think about that ice, because I live in Winchester. That's where I am right now, literally right now. And I had to work through that and navigate to get to work and from work, wherever, So it was bad. I was in Lexington, and those streets were awful at that time. If none of y'all remember that, but yeah, more good things coming. Again, I'm gonna get to Tates Creek High School. Sorry, I read a comment that I won't post. I'm gonna be at Tates Creek High School in the morning. So if you're one of those teachers that's in that conference, I'll see you in the morning. You shouldn't be up this late, and I shouldn't either. But you'll have a great rest of your night. I appreciate y'all jumping on here, and we'll see you on the other side. See you.